Yep, that was how I felt every damn day in the past year working in my full-time corporate job. I literally lived for the weekends. On the outside, everything looked fine, but on the inside, I was just miserable. But then I discovered a potential solution for me.
They call it quiet quitting. Employers hate it, employees love it. What can we do to find a balance between these two parties? Oh, what? It's 5? Alright, gotta go.
There's honestly no hard and fast definition of quiet quitting. Ask different people, they'll give you different answers.
What do you think quiet quitting means?
Cruising,
lah, floating lah, they call it floating lah.
doing the bare minimum.
Working for the sake of working.
They're just there to just get a salary lor. Just not willing to do anything extra lah.
I think it really depends on what stage of life the person is in. Sometimes different priority takes place in your life.
They are not going to be responsible for anything else except for themselves. Yeah.
And you actually did it, Jamie. Why? The act of quitting something has always been associated with weakness or negativity. So it's no surprise that most people automatically assume that people who quiet quit are ill-disciplined. Here's my personal take on it though. It's about setting boundaries that make sense for me as an individual where I can balance my work and time and be able to produce results with goals that are set with my manager. It's not my dream to climb the corporate ladder, so I'm not interested in participating in any extracurricular activities which boost my executive presence. All I want to do is good work that matters, make some impact, and mentor folks in their career, and the rest of the time I just want to spend on my own business or hustle. There's also this to consider. The 40-hour work week is dead. Gone were the days where we had to sit in a factory for 8 hours straight to get our stuff done. Multiple studies have shown that we don't get more than 3 hours of productive work done in the office. Half of that time is spent in meetings, the other half is spent chatting with your colleagues, eating or commuting to work. So to someone having other commitments, those precious 5 hours could be spent doing other things. Yet we're still expected to be there for 8 hours a day doing work for the sake of it. Why? I guess it's always been that way and people are resistant to change. Most companies are still scared to fully trust their employees to get their work done, or they likely want to squeeze every bit of work from each employee. So what do? They micromanage, they pile on more work even if you finished your work efficiently ahead of time. It's a vicious cycle that's hard to escape from because
a salary is the drug they give you when they want you to forget about your dreams. Because it's very easy to stay in that world where somebody is mitigating your risk. You just have to perform certain tasks, do them well for a third of your day, and they will feed you a salary.
you can buy stuff you want, you can do all the adulting stuff responsibly, but at what cost? So to manage my time at work, I came up with a couple of rules and conditions to ensure that I'm able to come up with a good balance to do what I needed to do at work and at my side hustle. Number one, producing top-notch quality work to the best of my abilities, ensuring work deadlines are met. Number two, if any of my reports or teammates needed to chat, I'll definitely be there for them. Number three, making sure that I'm not a roadblock to anyone's career, so if I need to process something through, I'll just do it as soon as possible. With these set of rules in place, I was all set to play the corporate game in the smartest and most efficient way. Also, I thought. Here's how a typical day looked like for me when I was still working in the corporate world. Every day before I start my professional work, the first 2 hours of my day is spent on myself doing things that are important to me. I'll start the day off with journaling, drinking my coffee, bringing the dogs out for walks, working on my side hustle as well. And I like to do this because, my mind is super clear first thing in the morning and my creative juices are usually flowing. By 9 a.m, I switch over to corporate work and I'll continue till lunch. Post-lunch, I'll continue to work on things, and usually I'll have more meetings in the afternoons as well, until about 4 p.m. After which, I start to wind down on my work and plan for the next day ahead. As a general rule, I completely stop looking at work stuff by 6 p.m. I'll have switched off and I won't look at my phone or work laptop anymore. Of course, this varied because there were periods of times where things were urgent and there were deadlines to hit. So I had to keep a close look on messages and emails. There were other times where I also needed to take late night or early morning meetings to accommodate folks who were in other regions, and I was perfectly fine to flex my time if needed on the occasional basis. If I had completed the corporate work I had set out to do for the day, sometimes I would just switch to work on my side hustle. Weekends were purely for myself, and I even kept my work phone and laptop hidden away in a cabinet till Monday morning. This routine was fine, I guess. I continued to do this, but it was proving to be harder to achieve. As the situation with COVID got better, most companies started to mandate employees to return to office a couple of days a week, which made it difficult to flex my time around what I needed to do and what I prioritized, like heading to the gym, being able to be around my dogs, and being able to work on my own things when I was done for the day. I was also constantly having an inner conflict with myself, trying to delicately balance the company's expectations versus my own expectations. I wasn't being a roadblock to anyone's career or work, but I also didn't see the need to go above and beyond for all the corporate stuff, like going for office parties just for the sake of FaceTime. But again, I also wasn't used to not going above and beyond at work because I'm that person who does that. Right? It was just weird. It really wasn't me. This inner turmoil took a toll on my mental and physical health, and it was evident. This is my personal trainer, Six. I've been training with her since 2020 and have seen her at least twice a week since then. She's seen me through all my ups and downs across the past 2 years.
Do you think there has been any difference in my gym performance or me overall since after I quit my job?
Huge.
Talking about this, how huge.
I will think about the keyword. That's very important. It matters to me. What are the changes that I really see in you?
I continued doing my little routine for months and it continued to drain me. Duh. I didn't have the psychological safety from my workplace to work on my side hustle freely. I felt like all eyes were on my every move at every moment. Everything I did or didn't do felt like I was doing something wrong. Sure enough, when my performance review results came out, I didn't get the minimal expected rating I thought I deserved. I was never aiming for an outstanding. I got a strong rating for what I did, like the impact I made, but I didn't expect to receive a neat improvements for how I approach things. So when I heard my review, I took some time to digest it. I was initially upset because I know I did good work, but it was extra surprising because at previous companies, I'd always received an outstanding rating for how I got things done. It was literally my strongest trait. So I questioned myself and reflected, was it really just me? The more I digested the information, the more I realized that the rating given to me was based upon things like not having enough physical face time at the office desk. So yes, I felt shitty, but I asked myself, do I agree with those things I was being penalized for? Do I agree with needing to be physically visible at my desk to have gotten good work done or to have gotten a better rating? Absolutely not. My values and the company's just didn't align. It just meant that I wasn't conforming to the way the company wanted me to act. In the ideal world, I would have loved to have an upfront and honest conversation about what I wanted from work, what my career goals were, whether in corporate or personal, and setting boundaries and expectations about work, where I can provide value to the company, etc. So for example, I think it could be something like, hey, I'm a business owner, so one of the reasons I'm working is to fund my side hustle. I'm someone who always completes quality work by the agreed deadline as well. Generally, these are peak periods for my side hustle, so I won't be able to be connectable after 5 p.m. unless there's anything urgent, but I'm willing to flex my time occasionally if it's needed. Does this sound entitled, privileged, or selfish to you? What do you think? Let me know what you think in the comments. And it's funny because even as I'm sharing that expectation, it felt kind of weird, right? Like all I'm doing is sharing transparently what my priorities are, but already there's this invisible vibe of, oh, Jamie's so selfish, she's just putting her needs ahead of the company, right? So having experienced quiet quitting, would I recommend it? Absolutely not. Don't do it. Beyond the act of quiet quitting, there's usually more to it than meets the eye.
I don't think people want to quiet quit because it doesn't make us feel good when we quiet quit. So it's not fair to say that quiet quitting is where employees are being irresponsible. I really think there's a mismatch as a whole.
Both sides should really ask themselves what's the root cause of wanting to quiet quit. Secondly, you shouldn't do it because it's just damn bloody hard and tiring on your mind, body and soul. The mental toll it had on me was just huge. Having to constantly juggle my work, my emotions, and not having the psychological safety to do things, it was bad. Trust me, when you're feeling shitty, everything else will be too. Food just did not taste the same, and I put on a ton of weight because I just decided to eat my feelings away. I really don't wish this experience on anyone. It's actually very painful to go through, and I'm just so much happier right now. But anyway, still glad I went through it because it really helped me to figure out what I wanted to do with my time and my life, so no regrets. My hope is that companies will start to be more open to have conversations around how employees should be assessed by the impact of their work and not by face time, politics, or the amount of time they spend at work. This is especially important with the rise of remote work. If you're trying to climb the corporate ladder, having executive presence is definitely important, but if a job is something you're doing to just pay the bills, to financially fuel your dream, then why should one be penalized for their performance if they've delivered stunning results on the project? How can we start to have more honest conversations on expectations up front and not feel scared to do it? How can companies start building a culture of transparent conversations and encourage psychological safety? No matter how good a company is, they are still businesses with a budget, so they need to do what's right for them. Not all managers and companies will be transparent or understanding, so remember to choose your battles wisely and gauge their vibes before you share anything too vulnerable. Be cautious about it. Know that you'll still be compared to your other peers, and when it comes down to it, you may be the person getting cut because you didn't play the game. We also need to change the perception of quiet quitting. Once this term is mentioned, people automatically envision someone who is irresponsible at their work. That could be the case for some folks, but the majority of responsible folks out there who just do good work, how can we kind of normalize the fact that not all employees want to climb the corporate ladder and just want to have their own healthy boundaries between their work and personal life? It's really their choice, and it would be great if a company can respect that. We just really have to be understanding and empathetic to each other. But in most companies, the lack of trust and normalized hustle culture makes it very difficult. Perceptions take time to change, so slowly but surely. But that's my take on quiet quitting. Don't do it. If you find yourself quiet quitting, practice loud quitting. Find another employer who understands you, your priorities, and supports your goals. There are employers out there, and I know it because I've met them, I've had chats with them, and no surprises, they are all very happy and efficient people. So do yourself a favor and find these kind of employers, and honestly, you'll be much better off.
Ultimately, quiet quitting, when it really hits you, it's time for you to have that crucial conversation with yourself.
If you want to know where quiet quitting has led me to, be sure to check this video out. I'll see you there.
And they call it quiet. Employers love it, employees hate it.